Mayday, 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 I'm going down. I don't know how to control this airplane. Mayday! What up, tubers? Bunny here, and this week we're back in Geo Flight Simulator. So I'm thinking in this video of doing some passenger jet style time trials. And I made my decision as to, how do I turn the camera? Oh, it's the left mouse button, not the right mouse button. I've been playing BeamNG Drive too often lately. So I'm going to be doing time trials using planes this size with this passenger capacity. So this is the Boeing 737-700. It's a nice blue Royal Dutch Airlines livery. Or is it livery? I can never tell. You know, funny thing is, I was watching a Swiss 001 video not too long ago, and he was having the same question. So I am here in Miami Beach, and Rabbit Airlines needs to figure out which plane is the fastest one to take passengers from Miami all the way to Freeport over here in the Bahamas, which technically isn't that far away. It's the American border. That's where there's like a no country zone between Florida and Bahamas. So yeah, I'm just gonna figure out which plane of this general capacity can fly in the least amount of time from Miami to Freeport. But let's create a flight path. Starting somewhere here, ending there. Maybe do something like this to get the plane aligned. And I do not know if this flight path is going to actually stay once I actually switch to a different aircraft. But this can give me a good general idea as to what I want to do. So it seems shortly after takeoff, I'm going to make a left turn almost right away. I'm going to fly up the East Coast a little bit till just past Fort Lauderdale. Then I'm going to make a right turn, and then it should be a straight shot to Freeport. So without further ado, once you go in the cockpit, I will unpause. Of course, this means the plane is going to slowly start turning its way to the left. Let's see, turn off the brakes, punch the slammers to full throttle, and I want it at 15 degrees flaps, and we are rolling. That's funny, if I don't push down, the plane actually starts to rotate once you get past 100 knots. But you know what, since I don't want to roll over, crash, and die, I'm gonna go ahead and pull up. And now we are on our merry way. Wait, actually I'm going to restart that. So what I need to do is figure out how long it takes the plane from when it begins its roll here at the end of this runway to when it stops rolling on the runway over at Freeport. So the timer begins fresh at 0 now. V1, go for rotation, positive rate, gear up, V2. Whoa, I don't want to go at a 20-degree angle. I'm going past 250 knots. I shouldn't be going that fast. Man, I am not a responsible pilot. But I guess I'm not supposed to be. Now I'm going to keep these flaps set. I believe it's 15 degrees. I'm going to keep the flaps at this angle until we pass 10,000 feet. I'm just doing this just to give the vehicle a little bit of extra lift so that it can ascend a little more quickly as it makes its way up and away. Oh, but I'm actually losing speed. That might not be a good plan. I think I'd be okay if I throttle up to this. That should be good. Say 9,900 should be the altitude at which I punch the slammers at full throttle. Throttle up. And we'll tuck the flaps in at this point. Okay, so now we are above 10,000 feet. There is no speed limit at this point. It's time to see what this baby can do. Already we are that far away from the airport. Oh look, there's another airport right there. Actually, I think there are a few airports within this metropolitan area. There's another runway or airport. Let's see, that is Fort Lauderdale. So, at where exactly is this? Oh, I can't read it because of this airspace line. Pompano Beach. Just in that in-between section right there is where I'm going to want to begin turning to the right. This is an interesting feature that's in this airplane, but not in other airplanes in the simulator. I have the throttle set at full throttle, but as altitude increases, the throttle of the engine actually decreases. So although I have the throttle at 100%, the engines are, I guess, just operating at only 80%. And actually less than 80% at this point. I'm going to start turning right at this point. I am almost nearing 20,000 feet at this point. I'm thinking I'll level off somewhere in and around 30,000 feet. Probably like 30,000, 35,000 feet, somewhere around there. I'm actually going to stop turning for a moment because I actually want to be aligned with this line right here. Because if I aligned it correctly, oh, I did not align it correctly. I can't yank it. What's going on? What the? Arg! Come on, you silly plane. I'm trying to mess around with this. Which one is the correct one? Arg. Actually, you know what? I think this line is the correct alignment line. So now I need to actually, hey, I can actually see the island from here now. You know what? I don't think I need that flight path. So you know what? Bye-bye. You know, is it a good idea for me to ascend to 30,000 feet when I'm already, I don't think that's halfway, but I am getting very close to halfway. Oh, the airport's already over there. I must say, airplanes really are that fast. Maybe I ought to give the Concorde a chance. However, I don't think I'll do that. Okay, we're at 30,000 feet now, so I'm gonna go ahead and just level off. So I might give it the advantage of having a little extra lift, just so that I don't start descending just yet. Oh, hey, you can play Jeffs on your phone. Interesting. I want to say that somewhere around here is the midway point. That's funny, we're at 30,000 feet and yet there are still clouds above us. That is interesting. And our view of the runway is actually obscured by clouds. I can kind of see it. It's funny, our throttle now is at 60 something percent. That would be 2, 4, 6, 65%. See, I think once I pass over this Bahama borderline, I think that's when I will begin my descent. You know, what does the view look like from the cockpit? Interesting. I actually think I'm going to idle the engines and begin my descent at this point. Oh, now we just drop beneath 30,000 feet again, and let's see, I'm probably descending rather fast. Where's the run? There's the runway. I need to scoot a little bit to the right. Oh, and that's funny. The throttle actually just reduces down to 10% and that's all. Let's see, am I even aligned for the... Well, not according to the nav map. I do indeed need to descend, or not descend. I can't speak. I need to scoot to the right. That's what I need to do. Well, I'm doing some good gliding here. I think that's the runway over there that I see. I think I am coming aligned. Now, one thing I'm definitely going to want to do before I descend beneath the 10,000 foot mark is I'm going to need to make sure that my speed has dropped beneath 250. And I don't think that should be an issue. Oh, just went through some clouds. I can see clearly now. Honestly, if that cloud layer was what was keeping me from seeing clearly, let's decrease my descent rate just a bit. Throttle it up to 50%, or okay, it's gonna be 40%. 30, no, 25%. I don't see the runway. Wait, is that it? I'm still a little bit to the left. But I don't want to teleport there. I really want to say that this is the runway right there. I'm pretty certain that it is. Alright, 15% throttle. No, 10% throttle. We're going back to idle. Come on, get beneath 250 knots. I need to slow down to those speeds before I reach 10,000 feet. Okay, I'm good. I am beneath 250 knots. And once we get beneath 10,000 feet, I'm going to go ahead and put the airplane into landing configuration. Okay, we're beneath 10,000 feet. Let's go. Oh, these cameras. I don't know what's a good configuration. I think I want to... Yeah, we'll put them out to there. We'll bring the gear down. We're going up to 50% throttle or whatever throttle it's going to allow me. Okay, gears are down. Okay, I see the runway, but I am still a little bit too far to the right. What are my chances of being even with the runway, being level with the runway? I don't know what phrase you would use. What are the chances of that happening before I reach the runway? Well, I'm going to go for 100%. Because 100% is all that will do with this bunny. I think I can increase my throttle just a little bit. Since this is the time trials, I want to see how fast I can legally put this plane through. However, I might have to reduce the throttle once I get down to even lower altitudes. Throttling down. Does and bucks, I welcome you to the Bahamas. And I am actually somewhere within the infamous Bermuda Triangle, which isn't a good note. You know what? I ain't afraid of no three-sided shape of death. Looks like I've got the runway to myself, so I'm not going to bother contacting control tower. Is that another runway right there? If so, why isn't that? No, that's a taxiway. This is the only runway. Oh, assuming I don't block the view. This is the only runway at this airport. And frankly, I am way too high up to be going for this descent, for this landing attempt at this runway. You know what? I don't care. We're aligned with the runway. Let's go for it. Woo-hoo! Throttling down to 20%. Arg, my hand is starting to hurt now that I kind of punched it in excitement. Go for this landing target. We're going to do it butter.
100. 50. 40. 30. 20. Retard. 10. Retard.
Guys, can we talk about how butter that landing was? Alright, bring the spoilers in. We are about to come to a stop. And there we go. We stopped. That is the end of that flight. Flight time result will be posted over here on this side of the screen. On to the next plane. So the next aircraft that I'm going to be flying is an Embraer E190. Did I call it correctly? Yep, E190. So I'm going to keep silent throughout this flight because I really don't need to be doing any talking. I'll just go ahead and speed up the video. See you guys in a little bit.
100, 50, 40, 30, 20, retard, 10.
Man, oh man, that flight was scary. Now I know I probably should have restarted the time trial, but I've had such an experience with an Airbus A350 last summer. In fact, let me refer you to Bunny's Life episode 1. I'm pretty sure that even if I tried this flight again, I would have had that same rollover glitch occur. However, given the acceleration and speed that this aircraft has, I wouldn't be surprised if its time trial run would actually have been faster than that of the 737-700. Well, like I said, I'll give it a 1-minute time mercy. Anyway, on to the next plane. Alright, the next aircraft up is the Airbus A320neo, so let's go.
One hundred, 50, 40, 30, 20, 10, retard.
You know what? Despite some of the speeds and accelerations that this airplane has shown, I think this might actually have been the fastest flight yet. Now for my next plane, and this is probably going to be the last plane in this time trials competition, I am going to try out the, what does they call it, the CRJ 900. Here we go. Going, foo? You almost hit me! Oh, some jet pilots. And I'm obviously a hypocrite. Oh no, foo is landing on the runway. I need to use some of that runway space. Come on. I hover above. Okay, we're clear of that plane, and we've come to the end of this flight. This was also a rather fast flight, and oh, there comes a plane. I'm dead. See you guys. So here are the results for today's time trials, and at this point I can congratulate the CRJ 900, as this aircraft will be able to transport passengers to and from the Bahamas the fastest. Now, as I reflect upon the flight of the E190, I'm pretty sure that it probably would have been maybe number 2 or even number 1 had it not had that mid-flight incident. Well, that does it for this week's video of Geo Flight Simulator. I'm thinking in next week's, what just happened? I don't know. I'm thinking in next week's video, I'm going to go back to automation. I have an idea to possibly recreate Gravedigger and then export a BeamNG drive and then enjoy driving the black and green wrecking machine. Let's see, assuming I don't get a tail strike, I will tuck my gears in and decrease the throttle just so that I'm not over speeding because I'm under 10,000 feet. That's what's coming up in next week's video. This is going to conclude this week's video, so I hope you guys enjoyed. Thanks for watching. See you all next week. India Alpha Bravo checking out.
T-minus 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9. We have ignition sequence start. The engines are on. 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. We have commit. We have liftoff.